This is day 3. We have not charged the battery bank for the solar panel system, and I am in trouble. We have cloudy weather for 3 continuous days, and we have 60% chance of rain starting tonight. I don't know what we're going to do. I think we're going to probably run out of power. I don't think these solar panels can charge with the clouds like this. There isn't going to be any sunshine, no direct sunlight at all. I really need to know how to recharge these battery banks in a different way. You can't totally rely on solar panels. Everybody that I know that is off-grid and has solar also has a generator. However, I don't want to run the generator when everybody else is on power and be making that noise. Not sure what I'm going to do. Okay, just doing a quick check. It's been about 36.5 hours since we started this. And we're going to see how much power we've used now. Used 4.84 kilowatts on that line and 5.81 here. So we're up to over 10 kilowatts of power. Going to check to see what the battery bank is right now. I'm concerned that it's very low, and I'm sure that it is. But just so we have a record of where we are. We're down to 23 volts. This needs to get charged up. Let's hope the sun comes out for a while and gets it charged up. Water is becoming a big issue because when I put in this rainwater retention system here, I did not have a garden. My wife had a garden, but we've more than doubled the garden space here, and so getting enough water to water these plants is a concern. I guess the silver lining in the cloud, so to speak, is that it's probably going to be raining here the next couple days, and so I won't have to be watering the garden or the plants. Because I've pretty much drained the water from the first tank, and there's no way for me to hook up a hose to the bottom tank, I simply took off the overflow tube here, removed the connection from the top tank to the bottom tank, and put the overflow tube here to the bottom tank and turn on the bottom tank, so I'll be able to run the water out of the hose and water the backyard. Well, it's happened. It is probably 9 o'clock on the 3rd day, and the battery bank is gone. There's the out of power. It's turned off the power. There's no power going anywhere to the house. It's over for right now. Rats. I'm going to leave everything turned off. I've turned off the inverter. I'm going to leave it off for about 4 hours. I need to keep the refrigerator and the freezer going. I know they can go longer without power than 4 hours, but this is just a test. I've learned I can go about 35 hours without sun on a full battery bank. That's one thing I've learned. Another thing I need to learn is how to charge the batteries with the generator. Obviously, you can't depend completely on solar. The panels are slowly charging, hopefully, the batteries, and we'll see what happens in 4 hours. Well, things are not going as planned. I was very disappointed when the battery bank went out. I was having my own little pity party. I texted my wife and I said, I think it's over. She texted back, what's plan B? I texted back, I said, there is no plan B. This is what I wanted to do, to see if the solar and all my other preps would work. She texted back, what's plan C? All I can say is I married up, way up. I'm truly blessed to have such a great wife. Anyway, so after I get out of my pity party, I went out and got the generator. This is plan B. I do have a conversion kit you can see right here on this generator. This allows me to run it on natural gas, which is really cheap, clean, and efficient, except for I don't have natural gas. Fortunately, I do have some stored gasoline that I keep for emergencies. One thing I do like to do on my gas cans is I like to write the expiration date. I put fuel stabilizer in it, and I also like to write the price I paid for the fuel. So this fuel was purchased 2 years ago actually, and expired a year ago, but is working perfectly fine in the generator. I already fired it up. Lesson learned, good to have gas on hand. Before I turned on the generator, I checked the oil, it was low. I added oil to it. I have a case of synthetic oil that I will be using, converting this generator over to, because it runs even smoother. I already turned on the generator. It started up with the first pull. So excited. I haven't put gasoline in this thing for years. I've always been using natural gas since I got the conversion kit. I do have a couple of videos on the conversion kit. I encourage you to take a look at that. I'll have a link below. I'll hook this up to my panel and be able to run my house. I won't be charging my batteries, but at least I'll be able to keep the refrigerator running and other things. I'll be able to run my entire house without really worrying about using energy, except for I, of course, won't be able to use a hair dryer, which I'm really not concerned about, the microwave, or the whole house air conditioner. But we're back in the game. We're in plan B. This is what it's about. I don't know if I should be happy or upset, but this is what we're doing. And we're making it happen. That's what you have to do in an emergency, is have plan A, plan B, plan C. If you don't, why plan at all? Here we go. Okay, you can hear the generator running in the background. Of course, you see that the main is still off. And one thing I do whenever I start a new generator is I let the generator run for a few minutes. Then I plug it into the panel. And before I do that, I also make sure that all the circuits are off, every single one of them, even though I know which ones I want on. And then I will slowly turn on one at a time, listen to the engine on the generator, make sure it's not getting overloaded. While the house didn't have any power at all, I took the opportunity before I started up the generator to replace the ballast in my fluorescent light here. So now I have light in the shop where I have the battery bank and circuit breaker panel and so forth. So that was kind of a blessing. You can see here that I've got a incandescent light in the garage door opener, and I've unscrewed it, so we're not using that. Also, I'm only using 2 tubes instead of 4 while we're on limited energy with the solar panels. So I'm trying to think of everything that's using energy and conserving as much as I can. I've got the covering on the fluorescent lighting. It's about 11 o'clock. It's time to go get some breakfast and find out how to charge these batteries on a generator. Okay, I realize now that some of you are thinking I'm dumber than a box of rocks and not being able to know how to recharge my battery bank with the generator. It's 1 o'clock, so it's been a couple hours since I was last here. Jumped online after I got the generator going and searched how to charge battery bank with generator. Went to eHow and it said make sure that the battery charger is not hooked up, or something along that line. And I thought, battery charger? What battery charger? There's no battery charger on a generator. Then I realized I have a 12-volt battery charger sitting in my garage. The problem is I've got a 24-volt system here. These are 6-volt golf car batteries wired in 24-volt banks. So before this problem happened and I realized I could go short, I called my #1 source for solar power, and that is backyardsolar.com. I was calling at 9:30 my time and they weren't open for a half hour. Then all this happened and it's now 1 o'clock and I called him again. And I said, how can I charge my 24-volt system with a 12-volt battery charger? And he said, I believe his name was Sean, to simply take the battery charger and hook it up to 2 batteries at a time. Because 2 6-volt batteries equals 12 volts. And he said, if you don't believe me, take your voltmeter, see what the voltage is between these 2 batteries. So I did that and it was 12.01 volts. He then explained, because I have a 12-volt battery charger, to charge 2 sets of batteries for the same time all the way through the battery bank. I've got a meeting tonight, so I have 6 hours exactly that I can charge my battery bank. So I've got my timer going on my cell phone, and every hour I will move these terminals to a new set of batteries. First hour it's going to be here, second hour there, third hour, fourth, 5th, and 6th hour. That way all the batteries get equally charged. Now while I'm doing that, at the same time I still have my battery tender 24 volt trickle charger running, and I've got the solar panels running also. So that everything is charging the batteries as fast as I can go. I don't know how much charge I'll get in here, but hopefully it's enough to carry me through the night. If not, then we'll just be without power during the night, and I'll start up the generator tomorrow morning and charge the panels and run the house. For the next 3 days, we have a 60% chance of rain. That means it's going to be raining for 3 days, and I doubt the solar panel is going to do any charging. So hopefully this has helped you learn how you can charge your battery bank with a generator and a battery charger. This is just a regular shop battery charger. You can see I've got it on 10 amps to charge as fast as possible. So if this happens to you, hopefully my experience will help you. Okay, it's time to take a shower. I don't know how much water it's going to take, and I'm not going to heat this water up. This is just the water that's in the garage. A lot of you may be thinking, well, it's Texas, so it'll be hot water if it was in your garage. Well, I have my garage insulated, so hopefully it's not that hot in my garage. So this will be kind of, I guess, a combination between a sponge bath and a regular shower. We'll see how much water it takes, and I'll let you know when I'm done. Well, I'm glad that's over, and I'm also glad that nobody was home to hear me scream like a little girl when I poured that cold water down my back. Oh my goodness. Next time, I'm definitely taking the time to get out the Coleman propane stove and I'm heating up some water. That was the most invigorating shower I've ever had. Not doing that again on purpose. And I forget to bring the pitcher into the shower, so I lather all up with shampoo, and now I can't rinse because little hand scoops of water coming out of the bucket isn't working. So I got shampoo running down my eyes. I've been trying to find this as I'm trying to find the pitcher located somewhere in the bathroom. What an experience. Okay, next time, hot water. Oh, by the way, I used about 4 gallons of water. I only used water out of the 5-gallon bucket there, and there's about another gallon still in there. So that's 4 gallons out of my 155-gallon barrel that I have. That's supposed to last a person 2 weeks. I don't know how much I'm using, but it seems like it's not going to be enough if that were my only potable water supply for 2 weeks. Well, it's after 10 o'clock. Just got back from a church meeting, and just wanted to show you the results from charging the batteries. We've got 23.4, somewhere around there, 23 volts for the entire battery bank system, and that is after charging each of these sections here for an hour each. We're still very low on power. Obviously we have lights. As you can see, we've got the fluorescent lights here in the garage. I've got the different panels, switches thrown to what I want to run, which is primarily the refrigerator and chest freezer, the router so I can upload the videos to YouTube. So at any rate, it's been an interesting day. Learned a lot. Didn't go as planned, but what I learned was very beneficial to me. I learned that I grossly overestimated or underestimated how much power my house uses in a day. I was figuring I had 5 days worth of power stored in this battery bank if there was no sun recharging the battery bank to the solar panels. I was obviously wrong. It only lasted about 33 hours. I didn't know at the beginning of this day how to charge a battery bank with a generator. Now I do. I also want to thank everybody's comments. This is the 3rd video. I really haven't had a chance to reply to your comments on the 2 previous videos, but I had a chance this evening as I was shoving dinner down to go through the comments briefly. And I want to thank you for your kind words and your optimism and your support. It means a lot. I know this is a very trivial experiment that I'm performing right now. At any moment I could turn everything back on and be back to normal. I know that I'm not completely off the grid. I'm still using the sewer system. Obviously I'm using the internet, but I'm off the grid as far as I've turned off my grid power, grid water, and grid gas. So that's what I'm working with. I'm disappointed that the solar panels didn't charge the batteries, but I'm glad that I learned the lessons through that. I really didn't want to go to a generator because I know I can run the house on the generator. I've done that before during Hurricane Ike for 2 weeks, and I ran 5 other houses at the same time on the same generator. I'm grateful for the lessons learned. I'm probably most grateful for an awesome wife, supportive, understanding, optimistic, and I'm grateful for the lesson that I learned from her comments and your comments, and that is prepping isn't about things. It's not about a battery bank. It's not about solar panels. It's not about this or that. But really the most important prep is your emotion, your spiritual preps. How you're going to handle a situation when it doesn't go as planned. That's what I would take away from this day, is how I prepare mentally, emotionally, spiritually for unwelcome and unexpected situations are really the most important thing I can do. It's great to have food and water. It's really nice to have warm water and electricity, but those are all really secondary to the spiritual, emotional, and mental preps involved. So I thank you all. I hope this has been an enjoyable day for you. Hope it's been more enjoyable for you than it was for me, and that we've all learned. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if ye are prepared, ye shall not fear. And the most important prep, you can't buy.